everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Megan, and I have over 25 years of occult and esoteric practice and study. And today I'm going to be talking about the Anunnaki, ancient timelines from all the way back to ancient Sumeria, all the way through to the Greek and Romans. And I'm also going to be talking about vibration and frequency and aligning with timelines. It has to do with manifestation. So a while back, I made a post and I was asking my subscribers if there was any questions that they had or anything they wanted me to cover. And so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into this. So I'm really excited to get these answered. This is for Mansard Manor 3869. I'm sorry it's taken me so long. This time of year is really busy for me in my business. But I'm ready to dive back in, and I'm super excited to bring you guys a lot of different new subjects. I'm going to be talking about how to increase your psychic abilities soon. And I'm also going to be covering Darius Wright's work on the construct and the 12 realms. I mentioned that before in some of my posts. And I'm also going to be covering a bunch of really cool topics. Like, I really want to dive into AI and how it connects to spirituality and collective consciousness and all of that. So I hope you guys really enjoy this one. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so here was the first question. So I just copied and pasted it. So the first question was, my first question is about the Anunnaki. Is the fifth dimensional literally on this 3D planet or a new vibratory world? Both answers seems to be true, and how so? And when one receives the Christo, does our body transmute into crystalline body? Okay, so I'm going to be taking a deep dive into the Anunnaki and who they are and where they came from. And the Anunnaki has taken on many different names through time, especially through the ancient Sumerians. So every time you have a culture through different eras, it's the same deity or being. It just takes on different names over and over and over again. So first off, the Anunnaki, there's lots of theories about the Anunnaki that I'm going to get into about who they are. There's a theory that they're an alien race who came to seed the planet, and then they enslaved humans for all of that. So I'm kind of going to touch on all of that and then go through the different timelines. As far as the 5D, so there are a lot of theories going on. So my personal opinion about it is that we had the shift back in January, the third week in January. We are starting the shift. We are beginning into the new Yuga. In the next 150 years, we're going to be switching into the age of Aquarius. So you guys know I'm super into astrology. There's a lot of different theories about that, about when it's actually happening, if it's already begun, if we're in the middle. And I'm for my study and learning everything that I've learned, I think that we are in the beginning of it, and we're kind of in the middle of it, because we're switching into 5D. So I know this stuff gets kind of up there and may go over some people's heads that aren't really familiar with the ascension process, because it's kind of like really advanced spirituality that's kind of in a niche kind of subject. And so most people are familiar about it if you're in the spiritual community, but it's kind of like a really niche thing. And it ties into channeling and all of these different things. I will suggest a channel if you're interested more in the ascension process. Her name is Sheila Hill. You can look her up on YouTube, and she is an intuitive life coach and an ascension way shower. So if you're wanting to dive deep into that, you can check her out. Lee Harris is really good too. So I'm really eclectic. You guys know that. Like, I study everything. So if you want to dive more into the ascension process, that's a good place to start. So I'm under the impression that we have already made the shift, and that we are in the middle of it right now, and that it's going to continue at its peak up until about this time of next year. So a lot of you may have been going through a lot of ascension symptoms. A lot of people are waking up in mass amounts. I'm sure you guys have noticed that just out of nowhere, a lot of people are starting to wake up and question their spirituality and who they are and their place in the world, and coming into their own different types of spiritual abilities, like psychic abilities and all of these things. So I'm also a past life regressionist, and I've read a lot of Dolores Cannon's books, and a lot of people in the spiritual community have been talking about this subject for quite some time. So, what I'm getting intuitively and through my studies is that the 5D is a frequency shift. Okay, so you will see some things start to happen in our physical world. A lot of people will start to fall out of your life. You will start to grow out of relationships. So some of the things that happen are you have a shift in consciousness, a shift in awareness. Your awareness starts to get expanded through your spiritual practice, all of these things. A lot of things have been happening to me as far as my spiritual progress and my journey. I've had quite a bit of really profound spiritual experiences, a lot of past life flashbacks, all these kinds of things, okay? And I know that all these subjects are a little bit touchy. Some believe in it, some don't. But generally, to answer your question, so basically, it's like it's physical, but it's more on an energetic level, okay? So you will start to see some physical things happening, especially with the sun, astrological placements. We've got solar flares going on. We've got all these different things, and the astrology is backing up this shift. If you're deep into astrology, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of aspects that have been coming into play. Old things, old paradigms, old belief systems are starting to fall away, and people starting to come into this new spiritual perspective, and they're starting to change their belief systems and move into different ways of thinking. Okay, so basically, it's more of like an energetic thing that has to do with frequency and vibration, which also ties into what I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. So, and then the second part of the question is, so when we receive the Christos, so they're talking about Christ consciousness. This is a level of communion with the divine. Does our body transmute into a crystalline body? Okay, so how this works is when you have a spiritual practice and you are practicing meditation and yoga and expanding your awareness, we have 7 layers to our subtle body. And so when we start taking care of ourselves physically with the right diet and the right spiritual practices, the crystalline body or the rainbow body ties into a lot of Tibetan teachings with the monks that received, that kind of ascended, like ascended masters, that have reached a certain level of awareness where their subtle body becomes crystallized. So this is not like a physical thing that you can see, other than you may notice people that are highly ascended, they might have this glow about them, this calmness about them. They're less reactionary. That's kind of like a physical thing you see, but it's more on an astral or etheric, more energetic level when you reach like the crystalline body. So Buddha did this, Jesus has done this, all of these types of things. So it's more of like on an energetic thing. So in esoteric studies, when you receive the crystalline body, it means that you have ascended to enlightenment, and that you carry this, everything that you've learned, everything that you've done, you carry this into other lives as you reincarnate, or you stop reincarnating altogether. So that's basically what achieving the crystalline body does. It's working on a subtle level, your mental level, your emotional level, somewhat on your physical level, and on a soul level. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of deep dive into the Anunnaki, who they are, and how do they show up in civilizations throughout time. Okay, so ancient timelines and mythological connections. The history of ancient civilizations is a fascinating tapestry woven with myths, legends, and historical facts. Among these narratives, the Anunnaki, Sumerians, so you can interchange those things. Okay, so the Sumerians worshipped the deities, which they call the Anunnaki. So that's who the Anunnaki come from. If you're wanting to take a deeper dive into the Anunnaki, then you're going to start getting into the gods' names and who they are. And then those gods' names and deities have changed over time into Isis and Osiris and on down the line, and then into the Greek pantheon. So they're the same deities, they've just transferred different names over different time periods, okay? So after the Sumerians, then you have the Akkadians and the Syrians, the Egyptians, Romans, and Greeks, okay? So they're all the same deities and belief systems, just the names have changed. Okay, the Greeks stand out prominently, each contributing unique elements to the intricate chronicle of human development. So this exploration delves into their timelines, the enigmatic Anunnaki, and the theories linking them to mythical lands of Atlantis and Lemuria. Okay, so as far as Atlantis and Lemuria go, you had the Anunnaki were a part of that. So they actually, okay, once I get into Darius Wright's work, this is going to make a lot more sense. But at one point in history, according to his work, he is a prolific out-of-body experiencer. The fall and the flood and the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria actually happened here in this Earth construct all at the same time. And the timelines that they give you are actually not that far away according to current theories, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Okay, so these things are all linked together, and we used to have all of these beings all here at the same time. But stay tuned for that Darius video, because I'm going to go in more depth with this. Okay, so the Anunnaki are a group of deities originating from the ancient Sumerian civilization, which flourished in the region of Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq, around 4500 BCE. According to Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki were the offspring of Anu, the sky god, and Kai, the earth goddess. They were believed to be powerful beings who played a pivotal role in the creation of the world and humanity. So theories and connections. The Anunnaki have sparked numerous theories, particularly in the realm of alternative history and speculative archaeology. Some theorists suggest that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth in antiquity, sharing their advanced knowledge with humans. This idea aligns with the notion that they influenced ancient civilizations by imparting technological and cultural wisdom. So what they did back then still in modern times has an effect on our cultural beliefs, our magical and spiritual practices. All of this ties together. So Atlantis and Lemuria. Theories abound regarding connections between the Anunnaki, Atlantis, and Lemuria. These mystical lands are often depicted as ancient civilizations that existed before recorded history. Some propose that the Anunnaki were the rulers and guiding forces behind the lost continents, and their eventual disappearance coincided with the catastrophic events that erased Atlantis and Lemuria from the existence. Okay, the Sumerians and the Akkadians. The Sumerians are one of the earliest known civilizations, emerging over 4500 BCE in southern Mesopotamia. They are credited with creating one of the first known writing systems, which is cuneiform, and establishing complex urban societies. And they were the first to really record astrology and astronomy. So the roots of astrology and all the depths of astrology, when you start getting into esoteric astrology, it all comes from Sumeria. Okay, the Akkadian Empire arose around 2334 BCE under the leadership of Sargon of Akkad. This civilization is known for unifying Mesopotamia and spreading the Akkadian language, which greatly influenced the region's culture and administration. The Assyrians, the civilization of ancient Egypt, which dates back to around 3100 BCE, is distinguished by its monumental architecture, such as the pyramids and the Sphinx. The Egyptians developed a sophisticated society with a deep spiritual belief system centered around the gods like Ra, Isis, and Osiris. So modern history and the historians tell us that all these timelines were then, and then you can even start thinking about Göbekli Tepe, and they're putting that at 11,000 years old. So a lot of these things are way older than they think. If you're wanting to learn a little bit more, you can check out Graham Hancock's work, and Robert Schoch, his work as well. And then if you want to even go even deeper in the sacred geometry and how all this ties in, Dr. Robert Gilbert, I've done a video on sacred geometry. You can check his work out too. So all of these things are connected. So when you start studying all these things, as I have over a long period of time, it's just like all of these things start connecting and they all start making a lot of sense. So once you have all this background information and then you start reading about all these civilizations and the time periods and what happened, then you start to make all these different connections. Okay, the Greeks and Romans. Greek civilization began around 800 BCE, and it laid the foundation for Western philosophy, democracy, and the arts. Greek mythology introduces gods like Zeus, Hera, and Athena, whose stories have been passed down through generations. Then there was the Romans. The Roman Empire, emerging around 27 BCE, expanded across Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. Romans adopted many aspects of Greek culture, and including their pantheon of gods, renaming them to fit Roman sensibilities, like Zeus became Jupiter and Hera became Juno. Transformation of deity names. Throughout history, the names and attributes of deities have transformed as cultures interacted and evolved. Sumerian gods, like Anu and Enlil, influenced later Mesopotamian religions, morphing into Babylonian Marduk and the Assyrian Ashur. Similarly, Greek deities found new identities in Roman culture, illustrating the fluid nature of mythologies across civilizations. In conclusion, the ancient timeline of these civilizations are interwoven with the legends of powerful deities and lost worlds. The Anunnaki, in particular, remain a subject of intrigue and speculation, inviting us to ponder the mysteries of our distant past and the potential connections to mythological lands like Atlantis and Lemuria. Okay, question number 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then I'm going to get into that. So it says, I would like to ask about vibration and frequency. How does one know the frequency of an object or desire? Then how does one know how to match the vibration? So when you start expanding your awareness through meditation, introspection, and learning how to visualize, yoga, all of these things. So yoga, there's 2 different types of yoga. There's yoga, which is a meditation yoga, and then there's physical yoga. So when you combine these things, then you actually get yourself in a meditative state and release energy that's stored up in your body so that you can go more inward and introspect. And this aids in your actual meditation and visualization process, which lets you start to read energy, control it, manipulate it, and learn how to align with certain energies. And this ties into manifestation and all of these things too. So I've done a lot of videos on all these different subjects. So if you guys are wanting to know about energy manipulation and how to do it, I have a video on that. You can check that out. So basically this ties into manifestation. So then this gets into universal laws and the 7 Hermetic principles and all of that too, which I will eventually cover that. So when you're trying to manifest something, okay, You cannot be attached to the outcome because you're actually pushing it farther away. Basically, we all have our energetic template field. This is our own unique field. Okay, all of our subconscious thoughts, beliefs, programs, conditioning, and then we have our energetic template field around us. Okay, and then outside of that field is where we can connect to higher levels of existence, somewhat in the astral realm, which is closer to our energetic field. And then the higher you go, the more you can tap into, and the higher your awareness goes. So when you're trying to manifest something, you want to focus on a goal. And we are all, every time we have a thought, it actually splits off into a different parallel dimension. So we can have up to 25 to 30 parallel lives at any given time. Every time we make a decision, the decision we didn't make actually plays out in a timeline. So when you're trying to manifest something, the goal is to align with the frequency of the timeline that is already happening, where you're already doing the thing that you want to do. That's basically on an energetic level what manifesting really is. You have to remember that time is not linear and that everything is happening all at once. Our brains have to perceive it as linear, but everything is happening. Past, present, and future is all coalescing and happening right now. That's about being in the present moment now. So if you're trying to align to a specific goal, dream, whatever it is that you want to do, through expanded awareness and going within and learning how to manipulate that energy. There are a lot of meditations that you can do that can help you do this. There's some guided ones out there, but I recommend single-pointed meditation. Guided meditations are okay. They do help. I do both, but I always do silent meditations, which expand your awareness. Once you're able to tap into the field, you can start to figure out which timeline that you want to be on. And then you can do visualization, breath work, and all of this stuff to get yourself calm enough so that you can align with the frequency or the timeline that you want to. Our timelines are always collapsing in on each other, and different parallel dimensions are melding with each other, especially since this shift. So once you figure out exactly what it is you want, and you have to be extremely detailed about this and start living the life that you want already in present tense. You don't want to be trying to say, I will have this. You say, I have this. So you have to start acting like that, like it's already happened, and you have to really make the goal to align with the frequency that you already want to be on. Okay, so that's how you align with this. How you figure out what vibration that is, that's all internal, and that is up to you. And it has to do with your resonant frequency, which you want. Your goal is to get it higher so that you can match yourself with that particular frequency. Okay. Second part of the question is, for all people who do not think it feels or even act the same, I know if very rich men who parade around as bums, hobos, homeless to avoid attention, they assume they all think alike. If you think this is how I feel about my outcome, then it is so, what changes do I need to make? And then how do I help if I can? So basically, I pretty much answered that in the first part of this question. You have to have clear goals. So if you're wanting a certain thing, or you want your life to be a certain way, you have to invest in you. You have to do things that are going to align with the frequency that you want, which is a higher vibrational frequency or a match to what you want. And you do this through your spiritual practice, through affirmation writing. So I have like tons of different notebooks where I would write 5 things every day in present tense that I wanted. And then a year later, I looked back and I had everything that I wanted because I wrote it all in present tense. That's how you go about aligning with the frequency of what it is that you want. The number one thing that is going to get in your way is fear. or any kind of conditioning about money or about what it is that you want that is holding you back. If you're wanting to manifest money, you have to get rid of the conditioning that is there about money. Money is hard to get. You have to work really hard to get that money. So that would be a limiting belief that you have about yourself. Or I can't do this because I have to have this specific income, and I can't venture out and do the things I want to do or take a leap of faith because I'm going to lose my stability and structure. You can still do that and then work on the side towards your goals and act like you already have them. There are still a lot of things that you can do that can help you prepare yourself. If you're trying to manifest from a place of not taking any action towards the goal, then you're not going to get the goal. So it's basically aligning with your priorities about taking care of yourself, expanding your awareness, and taking small actions towards what it is that you want so that you can align with it. Okay, I hope that answers your question. If you guys are wanting me to take a deeper dive into this, I can help that as well. Okay, so now I'm going to explain frequency and vibrations. Okay, so in the realm of esoteric studies, frequency and vibrations are considered fundamental components of the universe's fabric. Okay, so everything in existence is believed to emit a unique vibrational frequency, which can influence physical reality and consciousness. This presentation dives into the esoteric perspective of frequency and vibrations, exploring theories about the role in manifestation and how they relate to aligning with different timelines on a dimensional level. Okay, so think in terms of frequency and dimensions. Okay, so from an esoteric standpoint, vibrations are seen as energetic oscillations that occur at different speeds and frequencies. So you want to match with that, okay? These oscillations are not just physical, but are also thought to be spiritual and emotional. So you have to get yourself in the right emotional frame of mind to get rid of the limiting beliefs, have confidence in whatever you want. The higher the frequency, the more refined the energy, which is associated with positive emotions and spiritual enlightenment. Frequency and its impact. Frequency refers to the rate at which the vibrations occur. In esoteric traditions, frequencies can affect an individual's energy field or aura. So I talked about strengthening the aura, the crystalline body. Okay, so this is all tying in. Higher frequencies are believed to correlate with states of love, peace, and joy, whereas lower frequencies are associated with fear, anger, and sadness. So if you're in that state, if there's some shadow work that needs to be done, shadow work and trauma will also block this as well. So you've got to get yourself very well-rounded, living a healthy lifestyle and practicing your spiritual routine and living in the present moment and getting yourself in communion with the divine as much as possible so that you can raise your frequency and align with the frequency that you want. Law of attraction. One of the most popular esoteric theories is the law of attraction, which posits that like attracts like. So according to this theory, the vibrational frequency of your thoughts and emotions can attract similar energies from the universe, thus manifesting your desires into reality. By aligning the frequency with what you wish to attract, you can theoretically bring it into your existence. Okay, so there's a lot of misconceptions of, okay, well, I have this out here that I want. I've got to bring it to me. It actually works the opposite way. So what you need to do is your frequency has to actually match and go to it and jump on that timeline instead of it coming to you. That's why classic manifestation doesn't work. Why I wish for a big pile of gold. Why isn't it showing up? It's because you have to do the work to get that. And in doing that work and acting like you already have it, then your frequency goes up and then you can align with that frequency. Okay? So resonance theory. Resonance theory suggests that objects or beings with similar frequencies will naturally be drawn to each other. So this concept is often used in esoteric practices to explain how individuals can align themselves with their goals of desired outcomes by matching their vibrational frequency to that of which the state that they desire. Dimensional reality. So aligning with timelines on a dimensional level. In esoteric teachings, the universe is thought to consist of multiple dimensions, each with its unique vibrational frequency. These dimensions are considered to be layers of reality that coexist simultaneously, but are experienced based on one's vibrational alignment. Timeline shifting. Timeline shifting refers to the ability to change your current path or reality by altering your vibrational frequency. By raising your frequency to match that of the desired timeline or dimension, it's believed that you can shift into a new reality that aligns with your intentions. Practical approaches to align with desired frequencies. Meditation and mindfulness. Meditation is a powerful tool for raising your vibrational frequency. By focusing on positive emotions and visualization, you can shift your energy to align with higher frequencies. Mindfulness practices help maintain this alignment by keeping your thoughts and emotions in check. Okay? If you're in flight or fight, if you're dealing with a lot of trauma, if you're depressed, if you're sad, it's going to be really hard to align with that frequency because those are low base frequencies. You want to raise it higher. Sound and music can help with this. So sound healing through the use of specific frequencies and vibrations, you can help align your energy with desired outcomes. Listening to music tuned with certain frequencies, such as 432 or 528, is believed to promote healing and enhance spiritual growth. Affirmations and visualizations. Using affirmation and visualization techniques, you can consciously direct your thoughts and emotions to resonate with your goals by repeatedly focusing on positive outcomes and imagining them as already achieved. You can increase your likelihood of manifesting them into your life. So I get it. Life gets in the way. Things happen. Outside things happen that affect you. But the goal is to not let outside things affect you. You have all the tools within you. You need nothing else on the outside of you. You are completely in charge of your perspective and how you react to other people, places, things, and environments. If you shift yourself into a positive frame of mind, then nothing on the outside should affect you. So that's where this is going. Okay, guys, so I hope I answered your questions. Mansard Manor 3869. I hope I've also helped all of you guys too. I'm going to keep working on some more material and get that out as soon as possible. If you guys have any questions or comments, I would love to hear what you guys do to manifest, how you manipulate energy and deal with frequencies. If you have any insight on any of this stuff, I would love to hear you guys' opinions. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.